And we are back here on Open. April is Sexual Assault Awareness Month, and the Kingsbridge Heights Community Center's Changing Futures program works with 1,000 Bronx children and families annually by offering them completely free long-term treatment services. This month, they'll be holding their Together Ending Abuse Lovingly, or T.E.A.L Gala. And joining us now to give us a little bit more of the details are Director Noris DeJesus-Petrone and Arturo Smith, Supervising Therapist at the Changing Futures program, and good to have you both here with us.
Morning.
And so congratulations, because I know this is the third year actually doing it, and for people who don't know a little bit about, walk us through.
So it's our third annual, as you said, Sexual Assault Awareness Month. We actually call it Together Ending Abuse Lovingly because the color teal, and teal is for Sexual Assault Awareness Month. And there we will provide awareness of what sexual assault is. Sometimes people may not know how to define it. Also support for survivors, and also to help the community come together and support each other about this topic.
In Arturo, for sexual assault, somebody defines it. You know, there are many different definitions in the minds of people, but how do we really classify sexual assault?
Well, sexual assault is primarily an anger crime, and it tears at the entire soul, at the very core of someone's being. So if you don't address the trauma that's caused by the sexual assault, then you're not really addressing the issue at hand. So,
yeah. And so addressing the issue is what you want to do. You want to aim for awareness, and we know that you've got domestic violence, sexual abuse, campus assault. These are some of the things that actually get the things that get talked about. Talk about the families that you work with, because you work with a lot of families every year.
Yes. Our survivors are as young as 3. And all the way to adulthood and adult survivors. We work with amazing families. Sometimes it's very hard to disclose the abuse. And I don't know if many people know that 90% of the time the people are sexually abused children is by somebody that they know. 40% is a family member. So when a sexual abuse occurs and is disclosed, it could, like my fellow colleague here said, it tears at the connection of the family. It tears at, it can ruin or hinder communication. So working with these families, we see the beauty that this family has. We see the strength that they have. It could be hurt because of what happened, but through the process of therapy, through the process of healing, they go back to being who they were, that strong and beautiful family with these beautiful cultures. It's a very diverse community.
We want to talk about therapy for a moment, because obviously it's very necessary. It's part of the healing process and really being able to move forward.
Right.
But we know in communities of color, when you talk about therapy is sometimes the bad word, right?
It is.
And we don't, and, you know, in other cultures, or I'll say, you know, in other cultures, they'll say, I'm going to my therapist. But when it comes to community, you're viewed upon as crazy. But give a little bit about therapy and the importance of it, and why it's necessary, especially after sexual assault.
Well, it's necessary to get these feelings and what's ever being repressed out so that you can begin the healing process. Unless you have someone confront what's actually hurting them, then the healing process cannot begin. And it's funny that you mentioned the fact that it's kind of a taboo thing in our culture. However, I think with the Oprah Winfrey Network and the onset of the Iyanla Van Zandt series, it's bringing therapeutic interventions more into the light in our community, and it's not viewed as such a taboo as it used to be. So, and you know, getting our people to come in and talk about what's going on in the household. You know, there used to be a time your grandmother, don't you go out there and talk about what's going on in the house. And you know, getting those ideations out of the system, and getting, yeah, we do need to talk about that, into the system. That's the challenge that we face on a day-to-day basis, but they're coming along.
So what do we have coming up this month?
Well, this month we have the T.E.A.L Gala. We also have Denim Day, the Denim Day March. It's towards the later week of April. I don't have the actual date yet.
Okay,
And we're trying to do many tabling events as we continue to work towards this awareness during April.
Yeah.
We do tabling events at the the center, and we have a lot of programs. We have groups. We have safe date groups for teens, how to discuss healthy relationships, and groups for survivors, such as Beyond Trauma for Women, where women can discuss with others about the trauma, perhaps in their youth or in their relationships, sexual assault or domestic violence.
So we have an event, 4-hour event being hosted by Changes Futures program. And as we said, you talked about survivors being as young as 3 years old.
Yes.
Yeah. And so you say you have a few.
Yes. I myself had a client who was 4 years old, and it can be really hard to hear, especially when you see those cute little ones talking to you, and it's hard to imagine someone can do that. But I think the beauty is that the person is beginning the healing process. The beauty is that the person is also having the support from the program, from their parents, and eventually they can move forward from this. We don't move on, but we move forward.
Right. Well, we'll continue to follow this all month long. And so thank you so much for coming, Noris, Arturo. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you.
All righty.
Thank you.
All righty. Well, to let you know again, Changing Futures program sexual awareness event, T.E.A.L Gala, is taking place on Thursday, April 18th from 3 to 7. Visit khcc-nyc.org for more information. Taking a quick break. We'll be back with more Open coming up right after this.